My great-grandfather started the business in 1917. By April of 1917. I believe what brought my family to Red Hook is they had friends that lived up here that may have been by the name of Brenzel. And they came up to visit them, and at one of the times they were here, they walked up on North Broadway where Village Pizza is. That was the original Triebel's Garage building. And there was a boarding house there. And my great-grandfather bought the property and dismantled the boarding house and put up the garage, and that said that when he was done he had $50 left to start the business with. That's how Triebel's Garage started. I moved to Red Hook with my grandmother and my father in December of 1967, and I graduated from Red Hook High School in June of '67. When I was very young, I liked taking things apart. But more importantly, I put them back together. and that seemed to, I worked on farms, and there was always things to fix on a farm. And if it wasn't a car or a tractor, it was a machine. And I was always very interested in how things worked. And that's what got me going along these lines. I picked up bales of hay before I started working on cars. That's how I got working on a farm. I was about 8 years old. And the first car I worked on was my grandfather's brother's farm. And I helped him get a truck started that he couldn't get started. And I put a battery in, and that's probably about the first time I ever worked on a car. He brought a battery out and he said, we have to put this in. And he went back in to make a phone call or whatever, and I put the battery in while he was very surprised that I did that. But that's what I did. At that point in time, I went in the service. I got out of the service in 1971, lived in Poughkeepsie, but worked at Triebel's Garage, and I moved my family to Red Hook in 1974. And we've lived in a couple different places in Red Hook, but this is where we've made it our home. When I got out of the service, I had never worked at the garage, and I was 23 years old, and my father called me and he said, I'm short a little help. If you'd like to come up and work for me for a couple weeks, you could do that, but it will be a temporary thing. And that was in 1971, and it's been kind of temporary since. But here we are. Training is very important. Without training, mechanics wouldn't be as good as they are. Cars have gotten more elaborate systems on them. We have a computer. We thought it was a big deal when a car got a computer. Now some of them have 3 computers. And you don't have to be a computer scientist to know how to make it work, but you have to be able to follow the path that computer is taking you down so that you can fix what the problem is. Electric cars had very simple electric systems at one time, but now they're complicated. Power door locks, power windows. Cars did not have power door locks and power windows at one time. There were times when cars didn't have doors or windows, and now we've put power in them. Basic electrical skills are real important to a mechanic today. They're talking about having cars that have no mechanical linkage between a steering wheel and the front wheels to make a turn. It will be done by electric motors. You want to have some good skills to try to fix something like that. When the big change came for automobiles, and I'm not going to put a year on that, many of the people that were mechanics realized that they were either going to have to change or do something different. And a lot of them got away from repairing cars and went to farm equipment or trucks because they did not have the emission controls installed on cars. But right now, all the trucks and the farm equipment, ATVs, they're all going to that emission control. So ultimately, it's going to come to everything. If you don't adapt to changes, you die. Life is about change. My great-grandmother ran the office for my great-grandfather who started the business. And as it is written in our family history, that she ran an orderly, neat office, very businesslike. When they left the business to my grandfather, his wife, my grandmother, ran the office. And when my grandfather died as a result of an automobile accident, he had taken a tow truck to Statsburg for an automobile accident that happened, and he got hit by a car. And it broke his leg, and he went to Rhinebeck Hospital. And he was doing well for a couple days, then he died. And they believe it was a blood clot. But at that time, my grandmother had to continue to run the business and raise 5 children. So without strong women, Triebel's Garage may not be where it is today. So she instilled life skills that we needed, and we respect more now than we did then, probably. My father gave me direction in what I was doing, and I'd like to think that I'm giving David some direction. And my father passed away in 2001, so we have 16 years on it, which I'd like to think Dave will have that much time after I go, but that's his choice as to how he wants to handle things. I have another son that has 3 children. Whether they will decide they want to be involved in this or not, that would be up to them. It would not be something that I would make them do, but it's always a possibility for them. Our role in the community is to help people with their transportation issues, and that's generally automobiles. We provide a service, much as other businesses do. This is a service that not everybody likes. They don't like it when their car breaks and they're stuck. But it's our job to make that work for them. Not always very easy. A lot of times people are a little stressed out when their car breaks or when they don't have a means to get where they want to go. We try to smooth that out for them so that we can give them an idea of when it's going to happen and how much it's going to cost and make it work for them. One of the things that we've said about this shop is that if you come into our office, there aren't the signs on the door that says nobody's allowed out here. It's not black magic. We don't do things out here that are unknown. And by showing what's done, you understand your automobile better. By showing what a business is about, the people that see the program understand it better. It's important to all of us. The most important thing that I think that people should know about Triebel's Garage is that we're here to help you. It's a two-way street. It has to work for both you and us. We're here to help. We're here to listen and try to solve some of your problems. Done it for 100 years. We should try to do it a little longer.